Welcome back to Gunna Fan TV. Welcome back to another video. Another big game coming up this weekend, Arsenal versus Chelsea. We will be going to Stamford Bridge, and Arsenal must win this weekend in order to send a big message to everybody else. We have to make a statement this weekend, beating Chelsea at home, just to let everybody know in this league that we are serious. It doesn't matter where we're going, it doesn't matter who we're playing. We have to send that message. We have to come out there and show them that we are the title contenders for this season. And it doesn't matter who else is in the race, right? We're going to show them that we're serious. And that's what Mikel Arteta and the boys have to do this Sunday at Stamford Bridge. Now, let's get into it real quick. I mean, honestly, there's not much to say here. It's a very important game. It's the must win game. All right. Because we're only 6 points ahead of Chelsea. And I can't even, in my mind, I'm like, when did Chelsea creep up on us like this? Because we weren't really paying attention to Chelsea, if we're going to be honest. I mean, maybe some people who actually, are into the stats and scores, and I wasn't paying attention to Chelsea. For me, they just kind of crept up, just doing their business. You know what I'm saying? And now they're second. They're 6 points 6 points behind us. That's two games pretty much, that we really have to mess up to let them back in. And that's the only way they could actually get back into this race. Like, I'm gonna say that they're in a race because they're second with 6 points behind. Chelsea fans will say they're not in a title race, but if you're second and 6 points behind the leader, then you are in a race. You're in a title race. You know what I mean? So we have to be careful to not let them back into this race or not let them back in, because 6 points is a big lead. If you're going to be honest, you have to lose two games. It's still early, so it's possible to lose two games. But honestly, the way we're playing, the confidence that we have right now, I feel like it's very difficult for us to lose two games in a row. Um, we don't have to lose two in a row. We just have to lose two, if that makes sense. But for tomorrow, we just have to just go there, do the job, right? And just move ahead. It'll be 9 points if we win, if we beat them. All right. So I don't see them chasing us after 9 points. I don't see them getting back at us and passing us if we beat them on Sunday um, and go 9 points clear. But it's very close in the table, guys. If you're looking at the table, people, it's very close. All right. We lead Chelsea by 6 points, City by seven, Aston Villa by eight, and it continues going, man. 9, 10, and then 11, like Liverpool and those teams, 11 points. So it's close, and every no one has a game in hand. Everyone's played 12 so far. You know what I mean? So I mean, it's still early. It's still early. So we just have to continue. We just have to continue doing our thing, winning our games, right? And not really worry about anybody else. We just have to go ahead, go about, do our business, win games, and secure this title. Most of our players are actually, um, let me not say most of our players, because we still have Havertz, Trossard is still unsure, Gyökeres is still a doubt, um, Jesus, those guys are still on the injury list officially. Jesus has played I think his first official uh closed door, right? Behind closed door game. I think it was yesterday. So he's getting back to fitness. So he's playing again. So that's good for us. That's another option. Because for me, I think he'll be the backup striker for Gyökeres. I mean, Havertz for me, I mean, he was never a striker, but he could do a job. Let's not get into that. We all know that Havertz can do a job when called upon. So can Marino, right? But for you guys, tell me, what do you think? Where would you actually put Havertz if we have a fit Jesus, fit Gyökeres, and even Marino, right? Because you could throw him into the mix also. Where would you put where would you put Havertz? Like, where would Havertz fall on your pecking order, or in what position would you play Havertz? Would you keep him in midfield, or would you have him as a backup striker, or even as a striker to complement Gyökeres? Because for me, Gyökeres has to be our starting striker. But you never know with Mikel. You never know, Mikel. He may just want to use Havertz if Havertz is fit, but I don't see Havertz coming into the team at this point and taking Gyökeres's position. If he does come in, let's be the devil's advocate here. If he comes in, if Havertz comes in and he starts banging in goals, it's going to be hard to defend Gyökeres's position. But before Gyökeres's injury, the way he was playing, he looked like he was really getting into his own. He was linking up plays even better than he was in the start. He looked pretty confident too. Looked like he was you know, he actually you know, found his true position now, within the Arsenal squad, right? And that's what we wanted to see as fans. And it's just a shame that he got injured because he was looking good, and I think every Arsenal fan saw that. When he came off in that second half, I think it was against Burnley, I think it was, right? And everyone was saying this was the best 45 minutes we've seen from Victor, right? So if he comes back, and it's hard to come back from an injury and just hit that form again, just start where you left off. It's very difficult. Anybody who's played football, you'll understand that you're not going to hit that form right away. So it's going to take some time, and I think the way Mikel manages players, he just doesn't bring them right back into the starting 11, right? He either brings them on and let them work themselves back into the starting lineup. So, I expect the same thing with Victor. Trossard is still a doubt. I think Mikel said today that he's not completely ruled out. He still has another scan to do, possibly today and tomorrow, before they could 100% say he's in or he's out. But as of now, he's still a doubt, but he's not 100% out. Um, but again, we just got Martinelli back to exceptional performance from him in midweek against Bayern Munich. Came on and destroyed Neuer. I don't even know what Neuer was doing out there, bro. Like he was playing a sweeper. You know what I'm saying? But and that's the worry for us. It's just frustrating for us every time we get our players back. We have a complement of players back. We lose another one to injury. You know what I mean? The same thing happened on the opposite wing with Nani and Saka. Saka came back and then Nani went out. You know what I'm saying? So it's kind of frustrating, I would assume, as a manager to kind of have to deal with stuff like this. But we have a deep squad. So that's the reason why we went so hard in the transfer window, so we could have a squad like this, the depth, so we could cover certain spots and positions just in case we have injuries, injuries that we weren't planning for, or we have three or two players in every position that could cover. So it's going to be interesting this weekend. I mean, both teams came off of a win this week in the Champions League. Chelsea beat Barcelona, which is a big win for them, big confidence boost. So I will expect them to come out and be confident, and they're also at home. So let's not forget that. But however, we also beat Bayern Munich, which is a top team in Europe, and they've been the top team this season because I mean they've played 12 and they only lost one, also with one draw in their domestic league. And they just lost their first Champions League game to us. So they're also a big team, and we kind of rolled them over in the second half um, this week in the Champions League. So we're feeling pretty confident too. But take nothing away um, from Chelsea. Beating Barcelona is no easy feat. It's still Barcelona. They're a top team, but you know both teams are going to go into this game this weekend feeling very confident, and we just have to show everybody in London that London is red. London is red, and Arsenal is the team to beat this season, right? So, from a player's perspective, I think these guys are going to be confident. I think both teams are going to be confident going into this game, coming off of a win. We should have the edge because we're leading the league at this point. Um, Chelsea is chasing ultimately, but I feel like we have the edge. We have the better team, better players. Um, we are more confident going into this game because we are leading, right? So, I don't expect us to go there and stumble, right? We just have to get the 3 points and that's it. By any means necessary, we have to get the 3 points. I'm confident within every position at Arsenal. I feel like I'm confident. It doesn't matter who's filling in for who. I feel like whoever is in there can actually do a job. And we haven't seen that in years. That's something that we've not been blessed with for years, you know, where we're putting in players who are not of that ilk in these positions to cover when we have, our number one players out. So it's a breath of fresh air to see that, to kind of experiencing that as an Arsenal fan, to experience that, just the depth within the team. It's insane. I can't remember. I just can't even remember. Maybe Invincibles back in the day, when they could, you could have players who come in and, the level didn't fall off. I'm seeing that this season. I'm seeing that this season 100%. Players are coming in, and it seems like you're not missing the player that just went out. And that's what you need in order to win a title. But tomorrow, tactically, all we have to do is just go to Stamford Bridge, not because it's away, we're going to fall back, we're going to defend. We can't make that mistake again. We did the same thing with Liverpool. I felt like we did that a little bit with Manchester City. We have to go to Stamford Bridge and we have to just play our game. Dude, don't play defensive because that's not us. We already have a good defensive unit, so all we have to do is just let them do their job, and everybody else just do your job, play your role. We don't have to go ultra defensive or ultra attacking. We just have to play our game. And I think if we play our game tomorrow, tactically, we're better than Chelsea and we should win. All right. So I'm predicting a 2-0. I don't think Chelsea will score. Their defense is pretty shaky. They have a pretty decent midfield. Caicedo is a solid midfielder. So it'll be interesting to see how he come up against Rice this weekend. There's chatter about who's better, Caicedo or Declan Rice in the midfield, who's the better midfielder. Um, for me, without even being biased, Caicedo is a really good midfielder, and that's why we wanted Caicedo at Arsenal. But Rice, for me, is the more complete midfielder. And if you're the most complete midfielder, then I would want you in my squad. I would want you in my team because your depth, the depth in within your game is way more than Caicedo. His depth is way levels ahead of Caicedo. His deliveries, his passes. He may need to score more. But I think that will come in, and he does score goals. But overall, man, I think Rice is the better midfielder of the two. But we'll see tomorrow. It's going to be a challenge. It's not going to be easy, but I think we should be able to do the job against Chelsea tomorrow. Tell me what you think, guys, in the comments below. Let's have a conversation. Leave your comments, guys. Come on, don't be scared to leave some comments, man. Like I see the views on the videos, but I don't see the conversation, man. Let's have some conversation. You know what I mean? Tell me how you feel about Arsenal this season. If you don't agree to things I'm saying, let me know also. Let's have a conversation. Let's build a little community here. It's a new channel. You know what I'm saying? So I'm still building. I'm still learning also, and I'm trying to provide you the best content that I can. I'm saying, and with the ball knowledge that I have. What I'm saying? So I really appreciate you guys again. We're gonna talk again during the game because I will be doing a watch along for the game on Sunday. And then we could just see where it takes us from there. But we should win. I'm confident. And at the end of the game, we'll see how things fare out and how how we feel after that. But everybody be blessed, stay safe until the weekend, until the game starts. And we'll talk again, guys. Appreciate everybody. Bye. Peace.